It's a beautiful day on the Salton Sea, and I feel like crap.
Maximalist minivars with Mary and Captain and you. Get on the bus!
We're in California. And when I say we, I mean me, my dog Ryder in my bus, and Kat and RJ in her bus behind us. I have business to take care of in Los Angeles, so along the way I'm going to play tour guide for Kat. She's just come along to see the sights. And here's a site. These are the Imperial Sand Dunes, also known as Glamis or the Glamis Dunes. It's named after a castle in Macbeth, but I don't really understand why it's named after a Scottish castle from Shakespeare, because if you know, tell me in the comments, but I don't see a castle, and I'm pretty sure there's no sand dunes in Scotland. This is the largest mass of dunes in the state. Some of them are as much as 300 feet above the desert floor. If you have any kind of an off-road vehicle, like a dune buggy, side-by-side, motorcycle, you would love this place. And you've probably seen it in the movies too, because it's been in all kinds of movies, from Lawrence of Arabia to Star Wars to Spaceballs.
When did we get to Disneyland?
There's primitive camping here, but we're just going to drive through this time. We have another stopping spot planned for the night.
Turn left onto First Street.
This is Bombay Beach. It's the home of the Bombay Beach Biennale, which is an annual art festival that draws world-famous artists. They come here because it's kind of like the Wild West of art. You know, it's like a blank slate. It's a post-apocalyptic blank slate, some people would say. That word gets used a lot. Back in the 40s and 50s, this was a resort town. It sits on the Salton Sea, which was formed when the Colorado River breached an irrigation canal. It used to be stocked with game fish, so people would come here for fishing, water skiing, boating. You don't really see people in the water anymore. This berm was built in the 70s when a hurricane made the sea rise and it flooded out half the town. But then the opposite thing started happening, because see, this is what's called a terminal lake, which means it has no outlet to the ocean. So the water that comes in can only leave by evaporation, and when it does, it leaves salt behind. It's like a little ocean in the middle of the desert, that's why people liked it. But when more water evaporates and comes back in, you end up with way too much salt for fish to live. Plus, the Salton Sea is also fed by runoff from agriculture. So that's pesticides, fertilizers, chemicals, all that stuff comes in and sinks to the bottom and collects like a dust. And then the desert wind comes in and carries that dust into the air. So it makes it pretty toxic. By the 1980s, this place was basically a ghost town. Should we go down by the water? Oh yeah, it looks pretty soft. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We'll stay up here. We're gonna park up here where the sand is hard packed, because to go down there, I would have to air down my tires, and I really would not want to get stuck. Plus, it smells pretty bad, and it seems like as you get closer to the water, it gets worse.
So how do you go from decimated, toxic ghost town to hosting a world-renowned art festival? After a while, word kind of spread that there was this little dead resort town on the beach in the desert, which is interesting. So artists came out to check it out, and they fell in love with the decaying backdrop here, and also with the space. There really aren't a lot of wide open spaces anymore, anywhere in the world, especially for making art. The work you see here on the beach and in town is mostly stuff that was made for the Biennale, either this year or in past years, but a lot of the town's 200 or so permanent residents are actually artists. So they're not just here for the Biennale. back before the festival made Bombay Beach famous again, it was so cheap to buy property here that it was almost free, and a lot of artists got in at that point. It's not quite as cheap now, but it's still cheap. You have to remember, though, it's also still toxic.
That's the Opera House. Are those flip-flops on the ceiling and the wall?
I thought it was brick.
Kat is really loving taking pictures of all this, so I guess my tour guide role is a success. Oh, those are motorcycle gas tanks. She's even talking about trying to get a job at the Ski Inn, which is the only bar and restaurant in town, so that she can spend part of the winter here next year. There's a movie showing. The original plan was we were going to stay for one night, but she's so into it that, I mean, we might even stay a week if the smell doesn't drive us out, because it smells like 1,000 rotten eggs.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day on the Salton Sea, and I feel like crap. And it still smells like crap, too, which, that's literal, I found out last night, because the smell I read is hydrogen sulfide, which is a byproduct of decay, basically. So dead fish, because algae blooms have sucked all the oxygen out of the water, and also the salt kills them, and then the birds come and they eat the fish and they die too, so there's the decay. But apparently hydrogen sulfide is the same thing that makes farts smell. Fun fact. I thought it was allergies that I was having at first, but I'm usually allergic to like tree pollen, and there's no trees here. Well, there's some painted ones down by the water, but I don't think those really count. I feel like I'm having an asthma attack, but I don't even have asthma. Maybe I'll get used to it over time, but I'm not actually sure that getting used to it would really be that good of an idea.
Wow, that's something I would totally love to try. Not here though, because with my luck, I'd probably land in that water.
Another thing I found out last night when I was Googling around was that the state of California is in the middle of a plan to fix this place, but it is going really, really slow. And anyway, it seems like it's just a Band-Aid, because what the Salton Sea really needs is to be replenished, filled back up with fresh water. And I can't see how that would ever happen. Water is such a rare resource these days. People are fighting over water. In the meantime, though, the incredibly salty water is creating a byproduct. Lithium. The stuff they put in Teslas or in your shoulder batteries, in your phone. It's the same stuff Elon Musk is always trying to get me to invest in on YouTube. Apparently there's enough lithium here to meet the needs of California and almost half the globe for a really long time. But what's the environmental impact of getting to it going to be? I don't know. Extracting lithium from the sludge is supposedly greener than hard rock lithium mining, but it still takes, among other things, it takes massive amounts of water. The lithium extraction process is eventually going to shrink the sea even more quickly, and that's going to expose more toxic dust, make the air even worse. And what's going to happen to the art once they start extracting lithium? Who knows what's going to happen here, really? I don't know. Maybe Bombay Beach is going to reinvent itself again. Oh, there's Kat and RJ. I finally told Kat I need to get out of here.
If she wants to stay, she can stay. We can just catch up with each other later. But she said she wants to go too.
So, we're hitting the road. we're on to the next spot, and I have no idea what the next spot is. Hopefully we'll find something else that's pretty cool, because this is California.
If you like the kind of outsider art we found in Bombay Beach, then you might like this one. Yeah, I know you've seen Cadillac Ranch 100 times before, but do you know its story? Because it's a great story. Check it out, and see you next time. We'll let you know what else we find on the way to Los Angeles.